Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified number 160, the Slice and Dice, a 2-pack, part of Ninja Force. And there they both are. You can see pretty much everything that they come with. You got both figures, that is Slice, that is Dice, and so you can see everything. Now, unfortunately, I won't be able to do a complete comparison to the O-rings. I never had these as an O-ring, and a matter of fact, I started looking and I was only able to find one Slice, and that is right here. So a big shout out and a big thank you to Nerd Out Toys. Randy hooked me up. Unfortunately, he was broken in two. He said, hey, you know what, go ahead, take them if you can fix them. I did figure out how to pop these open, as they don't have a screw in the back. They are just glued. So the next time I'm able to come across one that isn't in great shape, I'll do a quick little review to show everyone how easy it is to pop those things open. But we're here to look at the Classified, and as you can see, the Ninja Force throwing star is right there. Over here we have the 160. We have artwork of both of them. Here we have two file cards that, I don't know, have fun with it. I don't pay attention to the file cards because I have my own head canon, I guess. And then we have the QR code that literally, I think, still leads you straight to hell. Here on the back, we see them together. We see them in the jungle, and right there, I know people have wondered, they've tried to figure out who that is. From what I understand, that is version 4 Snake Eyes, which of course is one that we already have, who's in the line right now. This is from one of the Deke commercial, or one of the Deke shows, so anyway. But anyway, let's get into this. I'm excited to get this, open them up. Two new ninjas. I have so many ninjas I don't even know what to do with, but they're going to go somewhere in that ninja display that I have all these ninjas. So anyway, let's get into this. But before we do, if you like this type of content, you like when I give you G.I. Joe Classified, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Classified review. All right, so figures are out of the package, and we'll start off with Slice, and then we'll get to Dice afterwards, and we'll start off with the accessories first. So there's a lot of new accessories in this. Again, that may turn some people off, but at least if they're charging us a lot, they are at least creating some new accessories, and yes, we will get this over and over and over again. So quickly here, we have these, some sort of knives, pokers. You can look here, you can see a little grip right there. They are pretty straight. They're pliable, but they're going to give you some sort of look. They look more like that Starman from the NES wrestling game. I literally just saw that. Oh, look at me. Oh, look at me. You can see my... It's been a long day. So you get two of these. They're very plain. Really, the only thing that you have on it is a little bit of a look of a grip right there. We get our baby Sai. I don't. Someone tell me why they put a little cactus in here. So anyway, it looks like a little cacti, just not green. It does have the painted grip. I can't imagine ever using this. Then we get these two swords, or short swords, shall I say. Not a lot of detail to them. We can see the grip. We do have the guard right there. They're not super thick, but they're also not sharp. They are straight. I will say this is better than like the gray weapons, just the plain all gray weapons that came with Shooter, but it's still pretty lackluster. And then we get two of these hook swords. All right, I don't know if that's the name of them. It is what his original figure came with. I believe his original figure also maybe came with this sword also, but I don't have that. So anyway, the hook sword, we've seen this numerous times in the Real American Hero line and other 3.75 or 4-inch lines. So you get this hook here. You get the blade going right down here, actually on both sides. You have a blade here to not only protect, but also to fight with. And you do get the nice grip that's painted. And then on the bottom here, this is painted red. Obviously, you can see that. Which, this I can deal with. These here are just, they're literally like throwaway. Maybe if this had black, if the grip was painted black or something. but it's just very, very boring. But you do get 2 of them, so again, they are giving you a whole bunch of different things. All right. Then with all of this stuff here, you get this strap here if you want to put them on with these 3 throwing knives. They do have some paint right up here. So again, this looks really nice. It's pliable, obviously, because you need to wrap it around them. Or you can use it on any of your ninjas. Maybe you want to take one of the hand ninjas from Marvel Legends. There's a whole bunch of them. And maybe you want to kit bash one and arm one up. But this does look pretty good. I like this idea. I know someone's going to say it's too bad these don't come off. But again, then you're really looking at losing a whole bunch of things. Then we get his backpack. All right. And this is all new again. Now I like this. You can see the stitching here. Now it is open because when you get these little hook swords here, you got to push it underneath there. All right. But when you look at it, they did a nice job of just giving it some detail, like it's actually being held on to his back. And this is how I guess you're supposed to open it up, or how you would open it up. All right. And you're going to be able to just kind of hook those in like that. Not sure how, it looks like they're actually going to stay because there's like a lip. See that? There's a little lip right in there. So that should hold it in, which is a nice idea. Something thinking outside the box there. We do have some ninja hands. So there's 2 of the ninja hands. We've seen this style before. Although this does have a guard over here on top of his hand. It is a gloved hand, so it's not just like a guard right there. So it is this nice little gloved hand for for the knife, for the karate chop. Or salute, but he doesn't really salute. And then he has a fist, all right, which again I think they should have. And again, you can see the guard right there. So those look pretty good. And then we get this stuff. And again, I know a lot of people are really excited for this. I was too. This is the type of stuff that you can use on a lot of different figures and a lot of different lines. And again, is it Showdown in Little Tokyo or Big Trouble in Little China? That's it. That's the first thing that I thought of when I saw this. So quickly here, you can see that it's supposed to be like a wicker. All right, it is brown. And the detail on this is actually really good. You can see the braids that are going through, all the rope that's holding it, and then onto the top. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a shield. You can hold it like a shield. And then right up here, we have some clips that are holding it all together, painted silver. It has this rubber strap, all right, that is black, and you can see it's fused into it, so that's good. And the detail on this is really nice. Now, again, this is where you're like, wow, you put detail into this, but then you kind of gave these weapons, and we know these weapons are going to be used more times than probably this. And then we get this kind of little cloak that is tattered and torn. Now, it is not cloth, but this doesn't bother me so much only because it's not a full, like, cape or a cloak, right? It is torn up, and it is pliable enough, so it's really not going to get in the way. If this was a full cape, then I definitely want a fabric one. But when you look at this here, it's got the collar around it. It's got a little bit of silver right there. And then you can just kind of see the tatterness all the way down. And you can see the wrinkles in it, which I think does look really nice. All right. And then we get this secondary mask. And man, this can look like so many different types of masks in different lines. So, but looking at it, a lot of detail within it. Just some black eyes. His mouth is, again, his mouth, nose, eyes are actually covered. And then you get this, what I would assume is like leather. Now there's a little bit of paint rub right there. That doesn't look the greatest, but not the worst. Something you can take care of. But again, just has this leather around it, and it looks like it's maybe not a full mask, but like a half mask. And then he has his big tail in the back. All right. And again, it is rubber. It doesn't look like it comes off. It's actually molded into it. All right. So now we get to this actual figure. And again, I have very little recollection of this figure. I know a lot of people are really mad or seem to be upset that they don't have this color. Like, why couldn't they do, you know, version 1? Well, my guess would be that they probably have an idea of doing Ninja Force retro cards, considering that Arctic Storm Shadow is technically Ninja Storm Shadow. And they need to fix a few things on that, and not everyone has that figure. So let's get to this figure here. And again, I absolutely love the fencing mask. I always did, even when I was, you know, growing up, and I would see this. Again, 92, I'm in high school. I'm skateboarding. I always liked the ninja, but I always liked the fence. I always thought fencing was just so cool. Not that I ever did it, but you can see the detail in it. All right, I think that looks real nice on it. And then as you kind of run across here, you can kind of see it's supposed to be the exact same the exact same hood that he's wearing. So you got the same tail here. It looks like it kind of goes over in a different direction, which I don't mind. It's something different. All right, here you have his ninja gi, and you got the black around the collar. Then you have his gauntlets, which I'm going to assume. I assumed, and I would have been wrong, that they come off. These are actually glued on. So at least they're not going to get in the way of his arms going down. But I'm not sure I really care for that. But again, maybe they're looking at doing another version down the road. So, but you can see here the different silver. You can see the little rivets, and it's meant to make it look like it can move. You get down to its gauntlet right here. You got the silver around it, and then you just have the ties that are binding everything together. Same with on this side. Here we have a piece for the baby sigh. Your baby sigh. I do really like the paint here, where it goes from red and then it tints into the black. And now this is going around his waist. And then he's got his little cummerbund right here. And you got to love the rope, all painted red. Nice little detail that it's going to go from one side over to the other. And they bunched up so much of it that it really does look like this would be a long rope that he can throw some of these things with it tied to it. Who knows what else? Again, I'm not a ninja. So then again, ninjas aren't real either. So, and as we can see, the belt wrapped around, and same thing. And again, he had something very similar in the O-ring. Once we get to the his legs, I think that looks good. Got some black here. Then just goes right into the red, and then he has his ninja boots along with the ninja toes, what every ninja needs to have. And as we can see, they curl up, which probably means he ain't going to be the best figure to stand just standing straight up. Here we have some more rope that's holding his boots on. But his boots right there, that detail matches that right there. As for his articulation, he can look up that far, which is poor, and he can look down that far. Again, not that great. Side to side over there. Again, he's not only does his head come off, but his neck also comes off. So these things should have a lot of articulation within the head. All right, T-pose is right there. He's gonna have the bicep swivel, pinless at double elbows, and then we're gonna have his arms that are gonna turn. One big thing that he does have is your butterfly cut. So if you turn up the butterfly cut, this is hopefully good enough, and it's not, I can already tell, to cross over so he could hold a sword straight out. All they need to do is cut this a little bit more. They cut this in just a little bit more, you never even notice. You can cross over, you can hold the gun, but as you can see, they're there, but they don't really work. It's very disappointing. There is your ab crunch. He can go back. He can turn side to side. Here's Jean-Claude Van Damme. Really good. He's a ninja. He should be able to drop down hips, pop back up. Thigh swivel. Double pinless knees right there. And then we do have a boot cut, which is right along the pants, which is really nice. And then of course you have your ankle rockers. All right. As for kind of loading them up a little bit, gonna pop off the head, and again, just so you know, they have a smaller ball joint here, which is unfortunate, which means you can't use this on other figures, other brands, and even some G.I. Joe brands. You actually have to Dremel this out or modify this on the figure, whichever one you want to do. So we can throw this on here. Then we can quickly throw this head on. And you can kind of see now he's just kind of getting a little bit of a different look, which again, not that bad, but you also got to take off the backpack, which we haven't put on yet. All right. But the big one that we want to do, let's throw this on here. Gonna throw this on, drop this down on him, and then gonna put this underneath, and I think it looks pretty cool. Again, there's something about this look which is really cool, and again, you can use this for so many things. And remember, part of the G.I. Joe team was over in Vietnam. If you want to go that far back, you do it. You do what you want with that right there. All right. So we're gonna pop this off here. The reason why this isn't on there is because the backpack was on it. All right. So we pop the backpack off. And if you're wondering why I'm showing you everything like this, if you're new to the channel, I like to show you exactly how everything goes on and how difficult it's going to be for you to pose these figures. All right. So here we have the two swords. We have the baby Sai. Sorry, never going to stop calling him baby Sai. And now we can take his knife here, which is going to be a very tight fit because of the trigger finger. And I know people might say, why does he have a trigger finger? I think every figure should have trigger fingers. In almost every line, not just G.I. Joe. Mythic Legions probably don't need it. But you see how easily that hand came out? I don't think this comes off. That's all part of it. And then we give him a chop suey hand. Oh, chop suey. Anyway. So there you go. There you got the swords. I'll definitely be doing some other things with him. All right. As for kind of posing him. Well, I was about to say not that bad right away. But it was. Because he fell right over. But you get him in a stance like this. Can we get him on one foot? Get him on one foot without a problem. So you're not going to have a problem staying in this. Now again, I've complained before, when a toe goes up like that, it's definitely going to cause some issues. And I guarantee you I can't get him to stand the whole time I do the review on this because this whole table shakes. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised nothing else has fallen. So, but as I almost forgot to do, we can compare the two really quickly. And as we can see, there's his curved sword. All right, now it's curved the opposite way. But you got your blade right there. You got a guard that they left off. And unfortunately, the blade is the wrong way. I don't know which blade is the wrong way. That's for ninjas to let me know. But as you can see, that's how that is. As for the two figures, I was like so excited to see if he stood on one leg. But so this is the original. He has the same type of head. All right, same type of mask. He has no detail on it. And then on the back, they do have the ribbon here. All right, that's going to stick up. And then in the back here of his belt, they also have it there. Rather than do the kind of stars throughout here, they just went with black. They used the same color scheme when it gets down to the legs. You can see how the boots are. And they are meant to be very similar. So I can fully see them doing a Ninja Force retro carded figure. I don't know if people are going to be that into it, But these two figures are very different, but you can definitely see that they take cues from that figure right there. And that figure is just a recolor of that in a softer mold. All right, on to dice. And wow. So this guy is the Cobra Bow Staff Master. I did look that up if you guys were wondering. All right. Oh, look at that. This could almost be used on him if you want. All right. Over there. So once again, we will look at the accessories that come with this guy. So we'll start off with his hands really quick. And as you can see, he now just has the guards. All right. That little paint rub right there. Little paint right there. So you got this painted right here. They do have the grip that's kind of holding it on there. But you can see the nice texture in it. I think that does look nice. I have no idea if that's what the original looks like. Again, trigger fingers. I'll probably have this or the fist on him more than his chop suey hands. And then you do have a fist here, which again, I don't really care so much for the fist on a lot of the figures. But someone who's a fighter, especially a ninja, they definitely need them. Trigger fingers. All right. Here we have his bow staff. And quickly, it is pretty straight. So here at the top, we got some nice detail on it. Okay, we can see that it just kind of, it takes a little curve right there. All right, two different blades. It isn't blunt, but it's also not super sharp, which is perfectly fine. It doesn't hurt when I do that. You get a little bit of red right here. All right, and as we kind of go down, we can see the detail within the actual staff itself. And then we get down to the bottom, and he can hold an orb. I don't know the purpose of that. I feel like there has to be something that's supposed to go there. It didn't come with this, but he can hold some sort of orb or whatever, right? Or maybe he walks around. He's one of those guys on the side of the road. He picks up the garbage. I don't know. Then we get two axes, all right? And we can see the detail. There's a nice dragon right there breathing fire. I think this looks really good. Now, this is where you say, like, hey, we put a lot of our money into this, and we're also going to give you that, right? Like, I think we all can kind of see it. So I think these look pretty nice. I do like the red. I like the detail and the grip right here. And then it's a two-sided weapon. Well, technically a three-sided weapon, because you can use it to attack and poke there. You can use it from this side. It also kind of looks like a fish. See, look. If you didn't know, I did the snake armor earlier today. I've also been doing all kinds of yard work, so I'm just a little exhausted. I'm a little exhausted. So then we get this dragon mask, which again is going to go with this right here. So I think that looks pretty damn cool. It has the same silhouette. And the paint on this is really nice. So you got these nice eyes, even down the middle. We can see the snake style eyes. It's a dragon, but you get what I'm saying. You got the nice red into the blue. You got your black whiskers right there, like silver up here. Again, there's a lot of paint apps on this. Like, this is where all the money went with all the paint apps. All right, silver teeth, and the way the scales are supposed to look in blue, it looks like it could be fur. And then he's just wearing the mask. Now, they could have just created a mask that you threw over, but they wanted to go with a whole helmet or whole head. So he's got his ninja mask up there, and then he has his tail the same way as our buddy Slice. And then we get the unmasked head. And Charles Xavier, look out, because your twin with a scar with ninja moves is coming to talk to you. So, big scar, which it looks awesome. Like, that is like, Snake Eyes did that. I don't know if it was Snake Eyes. It could have been Storm Shadow. You know who it wasn't? It wasn't Quick Kick. It wasn't Quick Kick, because Quick Kick sucks. But that scar looks really good. If you remember early on in the classified line, they were throwing scars on eyes and on faces all over. But those eyes look really good. He could also be Lex Luthor. But some nice eyebrows. The ears look good. Nose and everything looks good. So that is a nice face sculpt. As for the actual figure here, looking at the mask here, the detail put in here that's going around the chin, where these are just straps, that's Roman upstairs playing, if you didn't know that. If you don't know who Roman is, that's my dog. If you don't know who my dog is, you don't really watch my channel that much. Anyway, pretty cool looking that you're actually to see his face underneath here, under the straps, and then you got the teeth right there. What I'm assuming is some sort of like cat or dragon. You got the big like Wolverine type ears, and then you got his nice eyes that are poking through, and you can see that this is just held on over it. So he still has his actual ninja mask on, which is only covering a slight bit. And once again, he's got the braid in the back. I want to keep saying braid, it's not a braid, but the tassels. All right. Then we get here, and he has his pauldrons, or whatever you want to call them, right over his biceps. All right, so it gives him that look. It's got the purple. As you can see, his I want to say plate carrier. It's not a plate carrier. His overlay. It looks like he has 2 grenades. Two somewhat. Well, they're not throwing stars. Yeah, there's some sort of throwing stars, but have a big circle in the middle. Once again, back to the red rope. It looks like he has some sort of shells for something. And then when you get to the back here, you're going to see where you can adjust everything. So it does look really nice. A lot of detail put into it. All right. Then we get here, as we come down his arm, bare arms. And once again, we got these nice little scales. Again, going with the rope, the red rope. So I'm assuming these two come from the same clan, just like the Arashikage. You're going to see a lot of similarities. Red right here. There's his gauntlets, and then same with his, on the top of his hands. Same thing over here. All looks really good. I love the tie on it. The detail within the rope is really nice. As we get down to his belt, again, with the red, we got a nice purple pouch. The scales are the same as you're going to see right up here. So there is a theme within this character. Like, as an actual person, this is what he likes. He's got the belt buckle right here, which looks pretty good. And you can see a little clasp right there. And then you have his skirt, which is a soft, pliable. I would love for this to be soft goods. I think we all would. But something like this is not a big deal because it doesn't get in the way per se. All right. As we get down, we can see his nice bloused pants here, going all the way down right to his boots, where his shin guards are tied into place over his ninja boots. And then these ninja boots look like brand new boots. I think Will Smith played this character in a Disney movie, Aladdin. Like, that is a lot of toe. I wonder if that's going to cause him to fall over, because you are making the foot space smaller, so it's going to be easier for them to fall over. And as we can quickly look here, he's still made in China. All right, as for the articulation, he can look up that much, which is poor, and he can look down, which is actually pretty good. Now again, why they removed the cut here, I don't know. There's no reason for it. You already have this here. You could have a cut which would allow this to move further back and further forward. All right, going down. He can do a perfect T-pose. You have your bicep swivel right there, double pinless elbows, and then we're obviously going to be able to adjust the... I hate those. They look stupid. I mean, you really have to be in a fight with doing something, in my opinion. All right, so we're just going to remove these right away. So, same thing, no problem there. He has an ab crunch. Goes back and forth. He can turn side to side. There's this Jean-Claude Van Damme, which is pretty good. This does get in a way just a bit. Drop down hips, thigh swivel, pinless double knees, and you get some, man, that, like, my knees, if my knee went like that, it'd be messed up. Ankle rockers, boot cut. Okay. So, the complaint that I've been hearing all over on the interwebs is that he doesn't have butterfly joints. And as I'm looking here, I'm going to say he does have butterfly joints. But I don't understand what the hell they did. So, butterfly joints again. All G.I. Joes have the butterfly joint. There's the butterfly joint right there. Alright, as we can see, he can go in, it goes back, and allows it to move. Other figures, Operation Monster Force, you'll see that they can put their hands all the way together. Even some Marvel Legends, they do it. So, this figure has the butterfly joint. It's actually cut in there. Same with right there. Alright? The problem is, they've taken this pauldron piece and literally crammed it in there. And it's going to keep you from moving his hand in front. Like, his arms are not going to even go in front. Alright, I know people are going to say you can do that, but that's not the point. The point is, I should be able to cross over. Look, I can do this. Yet, they've found a way to completely impede and cause a problem like this. But I've seen Wolverines, a matter of fact, I have one or two. The one up there, the one up there isn't. Marvel Legends, that this piece rotates. It didn't need to be this big, and it's literally like they crammed it in there. Now, if you wanted, you could probably pop that off, and then you'd get, well, I guess someone would have to take it apart and see how it looks. But I don't understand the purpose of this. They easily could have put it at the top, had it wrap around, have it be a soft plastic, and let it move. They've done it with other figures, and so have other lines, and I believe Hasbro has with stuff. So I don't understand the purpose of this. Matter of fact, I'm trying to think. Yeah, look at this. They could have done this right here. If I can get this guy out. Oh, for the love of God. Alright. So all they had to do was, see how this is pinched right up there? How it's molded together? That allows him to move his hand, or move his arm in front. They could have done that with him. Now, of all the figures, these are ninjas. They should easily be able to move. And this is where they completely screwed up. Alright? This is when you say you screwed the pooch. So, that is a huge mistake on the Hasbro team. And hopefully, if they do another version, they will definitely make some changes. Because he goes down all the way. But once I try and lift his hand up, it goes out. Alright? So, there's my complaint. As for swapping the heads, that one looks pretty damn badass. I can't lie. That looks pretty damn good. And we're going to pop this off here. And we can throw this one on. And you better believe I have this guy. He's going to be having a little talk with Charles Xavier. And I think both the head sculpts look good. And again, like, this is one of those things where you're like, alright, this figure is really good. Color, the purple just pops. This here is not just a, hey, it's a slight miss. It is a huge miss. A huge problem that they screwed up. So, alright. As for posing him, well, can we at least get the staff? We get the staff held with two hands, right? So no problems there, I guess. Will he stand? I'm sure he'll stand at least for a short bit. Actually, I don't think he's going to stand that bad. He has some pretty flat feet, other than where the toes go up, right? And maybe with this, they thought, you know what? He doesn't have a sword, that he doesn't need to have his hands come together. He's almost always going to have them across. But it doesn't change the fact that we have ninja weapons. And the fact that I have a hard time, or anyone will have a hard time without making some cuts into this stuff. So, and as for on 1 foot, well, you can get on 1 foot. So the posing is probably not going to be that bad, but what is bad is this, and it's a huge, huge bad. I don't know why I'm saying bad, but anyway. That's my gripe on this figure. Other than that, I'd say he's a really, really good ninja. But I can't, because that's a problem. Alright, so there you go. That is your slice and your dice. And again, for the most part, the figures are pretty good. For the most part. I don't really have too many issues with Slice. He's pretty much how you'd want him to be. Dice, as you just heard, a huge issue with the butterfly joints. And again, I would say he probably has butterfly joints, but they're hidden underneath this. And they haven't done this with any other classified that I can think of. This is almost like Lenny had an intern and he said, hey, here's this dice, make him. And no one paid attention to it. And it went through the process and not one person said, hey, by the way, hey, shoulders don't work. So I don't know. This is the first really big misstep since, you know, you start in the early line, you saw an evolution. This is a de-evolution for sure. And hopefully we don't see it too often. Hopefully we see this get fixed just like when it came to Falcon. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. You spent a lot of time with me. These took a long time because there was 2 figures in one and a lot of new accessories. And then a little bit of complaining about, well, the butterflies. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Please, if you stayed this long and you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a G.I. Joe classified review. Now, don't go anywhere. Maybe you're new and you're like, I've never seen you before. This is amazing. Have you done anything else? Well, look behind me. Yeah, I reviewed all these figures. So right up here will be a playlist. Right up here will be another review that I've done. And down here will be the playlist of all the classified figures and vehicles that I've reviewed, which is every single one of them. Take care.